Hi! Today we're gonna talk about how there is a cruel joke of socionics. That before in the previous videos we have been talking about development of a type and how it works in a model. And today we're gonna talk of the consequences of that. And how when you have when your dual is basically becoming your superego, kind of, or at least looks like that, and the superego can be described really as a worse relationships in sociotics.
Do you want to explain why?
Yeah, because...
So why is it worse than your conflicting?
Because with superego you hit each other role on a permanent basis, and the role is the one you actually see, because vulnerable you don't see.
Maybe before you even explain that, I need to explain. So your role function is the opposite of your base function.
Yeah.
So it's literally the opposite of what you care about.
Who you are.
Number one thing you can't compromise on, base. And your role is literally the opposite of that.
Yes.
And then on top of that you have, again, obviously you have your creative, and then your superego has literally the opposite of your base first, and then the opposite of your creative. So whereas your conflictors, they have obviously your vulnerable first, which you don't actually see. So it doesn't feel that it's that bad, and because they don't literally the whole core of their personality, their whole essence doesn't contradict your essence.
Yeah, they hit your role with their creative, which is not all the time.
Yeah.
But your superego hits it with their base, so literally all the time.
Yeah.
And with your conflictor, they do stuff that you don't see, you don't understand, but that's lack of understanding rather than
rather than just
pain.
Yes. So and then the cruel joke of socionics is that...
Yes, that when one develops the opposite quadra aspects,
the unvalued,
they become the unvalued one. So let's say I develops an E and a Fi, and so they develop the aspects of their extinguisher, basically, which would be the superego of their dual. So basically, when you run across your dual, there is a chance they might have developed the opposite aspects, and they will look like your superego, and they will be hitting your role. They will be doing your vulnerable, and there will be not that much of understanding between them, between you and them.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's very confusing, because you will basically build a wrong impression of them.
Yeah. So that's something that can happen. But then, luckily, and this is perhaps for the next video, there's one way that the good thing about socionics is that once you meet your dual, hopefully, you can then start developing your own
also value. Like to distinguish basically between your dual and your superego, you need to see if they that's one way, is to see what's their vulnerable, because your dual will still have the vulnerable according
is the same.
The vulnerable, the role that everything stays, like it's just the suggestive and the mobilizing are underdeveloped, so they don't see it, like they see it, but they don't really get it at this point. And also, yes, comparing to your superego, they will actually not be able to see your creative.
Yes. And
your dual will be able to see your creative, basically. And that's how you can tell them apart.
I mean, there's ways to tell them apart, but yeah, it can get confusing. All right. So
cool.
That's the cruel joke of socionics. I will see you in the next video.
Bye.